Spiritual awakenings have become a fascinating phenomenon in the modern age, capturing the attention of individuals seeking deeper meaning beyond the materialistic confines of their daily lives. At its core, a spiritual awakening can be described as a profound shift in consciousness, where an individual experiences an enhanced awareness of their connection to the universe, a transformation of their sense of self, and often, a reevaluation of life's priorities and values. This concept is crucial to understanding Beyond the Veil, the untold story of spiritual awakenings in the modern age, as it forms the foundation of the narrative about how people are increasingly seeking and finding spiritual enlightenment in ways unimaginable just decades ago. The significance of spiritual awakenings lies in their potential to profoundly affect individuals and communities by fostering greater empathy, compassion, and a desire for authentic living. Such experiences can lead people to engage in practices like meditation, yoga, and mindfulness that promote inner peace and holistic well-being. For instance, the rise of the mindfulness movement in Western societies exemplifies how spiritual awakenings have permeated mainstream culture, inspiring people to look beyond traditional religious frameworks for spiritual fulfillment. Another example is the increased interest in plant medicine retreats, where participants use substances like ayahuasca in sacred contexts to initiate transformative spiritual experiences. Advocates of spiritual awakenings argue that these experiences are pathways to personal growth, healing, and even global change, positing that a more spiritually aware populace could solve societal problems from a place of compassion and unity. However, this topic isn't without its controversies and challenges. Critics point out the potential dangers of spiritual materialism, where the commercialization of spirituality can lead to superficial engagement rather than genuine transformation. Furthermore, spiritual awakenings can sometimes lead to psychological distress if not navigated carefully, posing a risk for those undergoing such profound personal shifts without proper guidance or support. In relation to other aspects of Beyond the Veil, the introduction of spiritual awakenings sets the stage for discussing how these experiences influence modern spiritual practices, the blending of ancient wisdom with contemporary innovation, and the societal thirst for deeper spiritual experiences. It also links to the examination of how technology and globalization facilitate the spread of these ideas, offering a backdrop against which the untold stories of these modern spiritual journeys are explored. In essence, spiritual awakenings are the gateway through which individuals step out from behind the veils of everyday existence, seeking truths that resonate on a universal scale. The heading, Meditation as a Gateway to Spiritual Awakening, introduces meditation as a powerful practice for inducing spiritual awakenings. Meditation is defined as a technique where an individual uses mental practices to achieve heightened awareness, focus, and tranquility, effectively opening pathways to deeper spiritual understanding. This is significant in the context of Beyond the Veil, the untold story of spiritual awakenings in the modern age, because meditation serves not only as a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, but also as a democratizing tool that has brought personal revelations and transcendent experiences to people worldwide, transcending traditional religious structures. Real-world applications of meditation are evident in practices such as mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, developed by Jon Kabat-Zinn. MBSR has gained widespread acclaim for its ability to reduce stress and improve mental health while gently guiding practitioners towards spiritual insights. In another example, the adoption of transcendental meditation, TM, has shown significant effects on personal transformations, fostering clarity of thought and an inner sense of peace that often leads to spiritual awakening. Among its supporters, the Dalai Lama has emphasized how meditation cultivates a deep, personal connection with spiritual truths, enhancing compassion and understanding. This view aligns with Eckhart Tolle's teachings, which portray meditative practices as a vital means to achieving presence and awareness. These perspectives argue that meditation is an essential element of spiritual awakening in the modern age. However, challenges and controversies do exist. Skeptics argue that meditation's rising popularity commercializes and oversimplifies its profound processes, risking superficiality and detachment from its authentic, transformative potential. Others express concern over exclusivity, where New Age movements may prioritize certain demographics, neglecting wider accessibility. Furthermore, the secularization of meditation has sometimes sparked debates within religious communities about appropriating spiritual techniques devoid of traditional contexts. meditation's role connects deeply to other aspects of the spiritual awakening narrative by providing a practical, accessible method of exploration. It influences personal growth and the quest for higher consciousness, driving narratives of unity, empathy, and global interconnectedness within spiritual literature. By enabling individual awakenings, meditation encourages broader societal shifts towards more peaceful, reflective, and spiritually enriched communities. Thus, meditation stands as a beacon illuminating the profound, often untold stories of spiritual awakenings in our modern age, simultaneously bridging the past's ancient wisdom with today's contemporary spiritual pursuits. Understanding the core concepts of spiritual awakening provides a foundational context to Beyond the Veil, the untold story of spiritual awakenings in the modern age. At its essence, spiritual awakening refers to a profound shift in perception where an individual experiences a deep connection to a higher reality or consciousness beyond the physical world. This process often results in increased awareness, personal growth, and a significant transformation in one's values and purpose. Spiritual awakening challenges the conventional view of reality, emphasizing interconnectedness, mindfulness, and a transcendental understanding of existence. The significance of this point within the main topic lies in its ability to demystify spiritual awakenings, making them accessible and relatable to a modern audience. By understanding these concepts, individuals can appreciate the transformative potential of spiritual awakenings in today's fast-paced, material-driven society. These awakenings offer an opportunity to find meaning, purpose, and inner peace amidst the chaos of the modern age. Real-world examples of spiritual awakening can be found in various contexts. One example is the growing popularity of mindfulness and meditation practices. Individuals who regularly engage in these practices often report heightened self-awareness and a deeper understanding of their place in the world, effectively leading to a spiritual awakening. Another example is the resurgence of interest in psychedelics used within controlled therapeutic settings. This has shown that when used purposefully, psychedelics can catalyze awakening experiences, promoting healing and transformation. Supporters of spiritual awakening argue that it encourages personal empowerment and global consciousness, suggesting that many societal issues could be alleviated through collective spiritual awakening. However, some challenges and controversies exist. Critics may view spiritual awakenings as subjective and lacking empirical evidence. Further skepticism arises from concerns about the commercialization and commodification of spiritual practices, potentially diluting their authenticity and deeper significance. This concept of spiritual awakening connects deeply with other elements of the main topic by serving as a gateway to exploring the broader implications of spiritual experiences in contemporary life. It influences how individuals perceive their realities and engage with the world, bridging the gap between ancient spiritual wisdom and present-day challenges. As such, understanding these core concepts encourages a more meaningful exploration of spiritual awakenings, inviting audiences to reconsider and perhaps embrace the transformative possibilities that lie beyond the veil of everyday perception. The concept of beyond the veil, in the context of spiritual awakenings in the modern age, refers to transcending ordinary perception to gain insight into deeper spiritual realities. It's about breaking through the metaphorical barrier, the veil, that separates our everyday consciousness from a more profound, interconnected understanding of existence. This idea is significant because it challenges the prevailing materialistic worldview, suggesting that there is more to life than what is readily observable. It invites individuals to explore spiritual depths, fostering personal growth and a more meaningful connection to the world. One real-world application of this concept is the integration of mindfulness and meditation practices in corporate settings. Companies like Google have implemented these practices to enhance employee well-being, leading to increased creativity and productivity. Employees often report experiences akin to going beyond the veil when engaging in deep mindfulness, gaining insights that enhance both personal and professional life. Another example is the increasing popularity of plant-based medicine ceremonies, such as those involving ayahuasca. Participants often describe reaching a state of consciousness where the usual boundaries of the self dissolve, experiencing profound personal revelations and a sense of unity with a larger spiritual consciousness. Supporters of these practices argue that they contribute to a holistic approach to mental health, emphasizing not only psychological and emotional well-being, but also the nurturing of spiritual dimensions. They suggest that spiritual awakenings can lead to increased empathy, reduced anxiety, and a greater sense of purpose. However, this concept is not without its controversies. Critics argue that such experiences may be misinterpreted, or that they could lead individuals away from rational thinking. The use of psychedelics particularly raises legal and ethical questions, including concerns over safety and the potential for misuse. Some skeptics challenge the notion of spiritual realities themselves, arguing that experiences beyond the veil are merely neurological phenomena or subjective illusions. Understanding and exploring these spiritual awakenings can greatly influence other aspects of personal and societal development, integrating a sense of spirituality with modern living. This connection can lead to more compassionate communities and a more harmonious global society. As individuals look beyond the veil, they may realize their interconnectedness with others and the planet, driving them to take actions that benefit the collective well-being, further enriching the narrative of spiritual awakening in the modern age.